We're in Nova Scotia.
And we're at the Grand Pre winery.
We just did a private tasting and learned lots about Nova Scotia grapes.
So about 6-7 years ago, the Winery Association asked winemakers of Nova Scotia to create a white wine that best represents our climate and soil. They gave them some guidelines. Everything had to be grown in Nova Scotia. It had to have a certain sweetness level, a certain acidity level, and then every spring we actually have to send it into a tasting committee in Halifax. These are wine writers and restaurant owners, sommeliers, that actually sit down and taste them blind. Once it is approved for that year, you are allowed to put your label on it, but only for that year. Next year it all starts over again.
Here we're at Luckett Vineyards, and this, yes, is a phone booth. Don't ask me why they have a phone booth in the middle of a vineyard, but as you can see, it's actually a real working phone booth. British. Problem is, I don't have any change. Hi, we're at Benjamin Bridge Winery in Nova Scotia.
We just did another wine tasting.
This is our third today. Great winery.
They have great sparkling wine. Oh, so good. And a great rosé, as you can see.
With the Palomé bottle. All of our sparklings age on lees on their side. Lees are yeast cells, dead grape skins, things like that. And we lay them on their side to maximize the contact between the juice or the wine and the lees. And so they age like this for 5 to 7 years. They're not corked at that point. They have what's called a crown cap. Looks like a beer bottle cap. It's actually the cap on the green bottle there. So it looks exactly like a beer bottle. And they say they're aged like this. And then when we're ready to sell the sparkling wines, they go through riddling. Kind of like either with riddling racks, where they're turned up like this and they're rotated a quarter turn every day. Or on gyro palettes, or gyro pallets with a bunch of French accents, which rotate them both on their axis as well as 3D through space. But the idea behind doing that is to prevent the lees from sticking to the bottle, because we want all of those to collect in the neck of the bottle here. So basically, at the end of that process, the bottle is basically vertical, and all that sediment has collected in the neck of the bottle here. We then stick that in a very cold alcohol-based solution, similar to liquid nitrogen. And the idea is we're freezing the neck of the bottle, including all that sediment in there. Then in disgorgement, we take this bottle, we flip it upright like this, we put it in the disgorgement machine that pops off that beer bottle cap. That little plug of ice comes at the top. We then fill it with a little more wine, so you get a nice full bottle, because there is a little bit of wine in that ice as well. It gets corked, it gets nice coverings on it, and it gets it ready to sell.
We're at Gaspereau Winery in Nova Scotia.
We just did a wine tasting.
And everything was great. They have some really nice whites, and even the reds were nice.
If you notice behind us, some of the barrels are Hungarian oak. That was new to us.
Yeah, coming from California, we don't see a lot of that. We also have French, the typical French and Hungarian oak, so great times here.
Really nicely in the cold climate we have here, and it produces this interesting grape with a white
skin and a white interior and a red skin, which is why you get this absolutely beautiful color on it. If the jewelry industry can say it, so can I. This is rose gold. That's what we're going for. So if you guys want to give that one a really good sniff before you try it. As you notice, it's my trickster wine.
Hi, we're at Planters Ridge Winery.
This is our last winery for today. We did 4 today. Great wine.
And yeah, the wine was great here. The title, excellent.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite too, the title wine.
But we have to drive back, so 4th is our ending time.
This land was given as part of the New England Planters Land Grant. So that's where we got our name Planters Ridge, as there was New England planters living here on the ridge. So then after that, the interesting thing is actually the Woodward family owned this property for 7 generations until 2010. So then our winery owners, John and Lisa from Ontario, purchased the property in 2010 when it was just the house, the barn, and the hayfield. So a lot has happened since then for sure. It's a 154-year-old renovated barn. So in 2010 they purchased the property. They started planting the grapes in 2011, and then in 2012 started the renovation. It's really great for such a small new wine region to have something that they can call their own. You can compare and contrast. So it's kind of a wine with a reputation, which is nice for us to have. Very reflective of Nova Scotia, and it's a good thing for all of us here.